This one is mine. I know you don't want it because it poofed up and you wanted to slap it and do all type of stuff to the thingy. Ooh! I'm not gonna butter the one on the bottom because I want that for tomato basil. When making sourdough bread, normally you have to proof the sponge first. To do that, you take your starter from the fridge, you mix it up really well in the jar, and then you dump all the contents into a bowl. And then to that, you add 1 cup of all-purpose flour and 1 cup of water. And then you stir it up, cover it up loosely, and then set it at least for 3 to 4 hours. Then you come back and you can make the mother, and then use some of the proof sponge to make your bread. Today for this pita bread, we're not going to do that. What I'm going to do is just grab the jar from the fridge, stir it up really well, and then pour out 1.5 cups of the starter. It's not proofed, just the starter. And then I'm going to make the mother. You want to cook more at home, but recipes can be overwhelming. That's because most recipes cater to a large group. The solution is my small batch book, No More Leftovers. Enjoy air fryer wings and other appetizers for 2, small batch Belizean breads, main dishes for 2, small batch dishes and drinks and smoothies for 1. You'll be able to stay on your eating plan or diet because my recipes for mini cakes, pies, and cookies only yield enough for you to enjoy a treat and share with a couple of friends or family. Pick up a copy of my small batch book at www.barepantryshow.com. Shop safely and securely at www.barepantryshow.com. But we're going to use 1.5 cups of starter to make the pita bread, all right? So let's continue. It's really thick. So then to this, I'm adding 3 tablespoons of olive oil and 1 teaspoon of salt. That's it, guys. We're just going to add some flour to make this into a dough. Now, if I had proofed the sponge, I would have added some water to this mix, and then we would have to add a lot more flour. But right now, I'm just kind of monitoring how much flour I'm going to need. I started off with 2 cups, but I haven't used the whole 2 cups yet. I'm stirring with this little plastic thing that I use to measure out cupcake batter with. But that gets real annoying real fast, so I'm just going to go ahead and clean this off, get my hand in here, put some more flour. Now if you see Joe in the background, that's because he's filming a reel for me with this same pita bread, alright? So I'm going to stay on this just so you guys can see it come together. Now if you had a mixer, the dough hook would be turning the dough just like what we're doing here with our fingers, okay? Just work it in. Gather all the dry flour off the edge of the bowl and then just turn it, turn it, turn it. Just be patient with it, okay? I like this recipe because I can walk away, leave it alone for like 5, 6, 7 hours, and then come back later and make the pita bread for dinner. Alright? You don't have to come back and do anything special to it. It's going to raise the one time, and then when we cut it into pieces, it needs to raise again, but really only for like 10 to 15 minutes. So it's not going to be hard. So I think we're good right here. Get it out of the bowl and then just knead. What is kneading? Just roll the dough back and forth on the counter, gathering it together. Just kind of rock it back and forth. Everybody will develop their own kneading technique, all right? So you might have a different technique than I do. I just like to roll it back and forth like this. I had Joe move because I didn't realize he was right behind me. I'm like, look, I have another camera going, Joe. You can't be right behind me. So now this ball is ready. I'm going to go ahead and put it in a bowl. Let me grab a bowl from here. Yeah, this one looks like a good size. Put it in here. You can grease it if you want, but I'm not going to grease this. I'm just going to put this shrink wrap over it. And I'm going to go outside and help Joe with the yard some more. And I'm going to come back a few hours later for us to go ahead and re-knead. So let's pull off the plastic covering. It's still so moist. So just get it out the best way you can from the bowl. I guess that's why people like to grease the bowl, right? But I didn't want to grease it this time. Get it out. Make sure countertop is lightly floured. Then kind of flatten it out because we want to do some fractions here. I'm squeezing out all the air. Okay. Just a quick knead again. So after I flatten it, I'm going to cut it into 8 equal pieces, but I didn't get a cutting board and I want to cut on my brand new countertop, so I just scored it and then kind of tore it apart to get the 8 pieces. Then dip it in a little bit of the flour on the countertop, and I'm going to roll all of these into balls. They don't have to be all pretty, but just roll them into balls. I don't even cover them up. I just kind of like get my comal ready, and within 10 to 15 minutes it's time to roll it out like a tortilla. Joe is off to the side telling me he can do a better job with rolling the thing to make it look round. Look at my first one. Let me set it aside and have Joe come and show us his stuff, alright? Okay, come on, Joe. Show us what you got. See? He's got a technique too to rolling. It's sticky, so he has to put some flour on his rolling pin. But he doesn't want to. See? He did end up putting a little bit of flour on the rolling pin. And I do think I have to take my hat off to him, because I think that his looks more round than mine. Notice I'm being real patient and not cutting away, because I want you guys to see everything. So now I'm grabbing the comal, or the griddle. You might know this as a griddle. Putting it on the stove. And this is mine. Not looking too bad. It's puffing up a little bit. Look, look, look. This is what I love about pita bread. I love when it poofs up like this. I don't like when fried jack poofs up like that though, but I love pita bread like that. Now Joe mashed the third one. This is the third one Joe's doing, and he mashed it with just his hand. Man, Joe's like an old Belize lady, I tell you. So now I'm gonna put, see, mine is done, my first one's done. I'm gonna put Joe's second one, well, Joe's first one, so the second one. And you don't have to do all 8, okay? You can put up the rest in the fridge. Now look at this one, guys. This is magic. This is science. I absolutely love what pita bread does. Look, 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 look. Let me stay quiet. Wow, look at this. And this is no man-made yeast. This is sourdough. Wow. This is science.
You look mad, like me.
I'm gonna put it in slow motion too. Look at this baby. She looks 9 months. No, we don't want to squish it. See, it's gonna deflate on its own. Look, look how it's bending over there.
Is it going out?
It's going down. No! Why are you so tempted to push it? No!
I cook.
This one's gonna be mine. Leave it alone. And I want to go ahead and show you this one. See, the big old hollowed out area that you can stuff things on the inside. Alright, let me go ahead and show you our plates. And this is our plates. Beautiful, right? That breakfast was so good, guys. So let's recap really quickly what I did to make this pita bread. I took my starter from the fridge and I poured a 1.5 cups into a big bowl. I did not proof the sponge. I made the mother off camera by adding 1/2 cup of flour and 1/2 cup of water to the contents that remained in the jar, and then put it back in the fridge. Then I did 3 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil, a teaspoon of salt, and enough flour to make the dough. Covered it up, came out here, helped Joe in the yard, and then went back like 5 or 6 hours later, cut it into 8 pieces. I didn't let the balls sit for too long, for like 10-15 minutes. Then we made 3 of the pita pockets, and yeah, the middle one, the second one came out so good, poofed up really great, and we loved it. Anyways guys, if you like what I produced here today, go ahead and hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and pick up a copy of my mini books that I have here for sale at my website, barepantryshow.com. It's so noisy over here right now. The mail truck is coming. That lady starting her truck. Child. Let me show you the walkway though. It's a mailman, not a mail lady.